it. Rookie with a kill. Pew chased down as well. There's no way he can escape.
Former brothers now cross swords. Jackie Love must arm himself to the teeth and prepare to take down once fond friends. And there will be no backing down this time. When pride is on the line, there can only be one winner.
Sets up a beautiful package. Knight going gold, but Triumph's on the wing. It's a choke and top esports have to get out of here. Zoom coming in is dicey, but Jackie Love still alive. ZS jumping for him, flashes away, matches to the counter strike. A quick QSS. ZS actually dying though. ZS is dead. It's a triple kill.
Although a bright star, Jackie Love is never alone. You can always trust his knight in shining armor to help him in battles to come.
It's Knight Silas, Chain Lash, Kingslayer. 1v2 me, bro, I dare ya.
On one hand, you got Jackie Love and Knight, two of the deadliest carries in all of the LPL. On the other, you have Karsa and Rookie. Brilliant minds come together to potentially form one of the scariest mid-jungle duos of all time. The lights are on and pressure is high. Only one team will stand victorious. So let go of the past and take hold of the present. Top Esports versus Victory 5.
Smile on your face. In death there's no guarantees. I'll cheat it just the way you cheated me. Cheated me. Whoa. Little did you know, I didn't let it go. Guess who's back to kill? I promise you, you had to come in. It's supposed to pay. Now it's time to play. You know, pass around, rational let. Pull the trigger, see what you get. Struggle free, it's nothing personal, it's you, not me. You, not me. Oh, oh. Little did you know, I didn't let it go. Guess who's back to kill? Promise you, you had to come in. It's supposed to pay. Now it's time to play. You know, pass around, rational let. Pull the trigger, see what you get. To play, you know, pass around, rational let. Pull the trigger, see what you get. You let it come in. You let it come in.
is coming up.
我感觉就配合的还是可以有更加，还是有很多地方可以进步的吧。然后我们也在就努力双排啊，找一些联动的方式。我们都是来自于不同的队伍嘛，然后我们就各自有各自的打法，然后我们就在努力想办法把我们各自的打法结合起来，然后找到一个最适合我们的吧。
We're back! LPL last game of week 2. I am Oshin, he is Ox, and we have our match of the week. I would never thought I'd be saying this with these two teams, but Victory 5 going up against Top Esports. Victory 5, who have basically just brought in arguably one of the best mid laners in the league and one of the most consistently best junglers in the league as well in Karsa. Just making Rookie and Karsa making this roster move, and obviously Top Esports improving their top side and still having monsters like Knight and Jackie Love. This is, for all intents and purposes, a clash of the Titans.
Absolutely, and I mean the mid lane has to be the focal point. Knight against Rookie, both of them last split, their teams didn't have the hottest performances, but I'd say Knight in particular looked stellar, but Rookie is obviously a mainstay in the league. He's just showed so many flawless performances, and honestly, this is just a hype matchup. It's a shame that Corki exists because I really don't want to see them play that. I would rather see them go toe-to-toe on things like the LeBlanc, Syndras, the Vexes. I want to see them clash.
And this is the big thing we want. We don't want a farm fest. We don't want Victor versus Corki and then they go to the team fights. We want to see these guys going toe to toe. And the thing is, looking at how these two guys have played, they are the catalysts for their team. In this clip here, you can see RA find themselves a pick, but Knight turns it around. Knight brings it back on the Tryndamere and just makes it so that it was in the favor of Top Esports.
Absolutely, and I mean, both of them have played Victor to just like a really insane level, but it's so good to see them they have such an eye for when they can make the plays, when they can go aggressive, when they can step up and sort of bridge that line between the dangerous positions where you see other players get caught out and the position where they can truly carry. It's so fun to watch.
Yeah, and that's the big thing as well. It's fun. And I think this is something that we love seeing from these two mid laners. And just consistently, this is the Victor play that you're talking about. Look at Rookie. Look how close he is. Just constantly putting out damage. Consistently being within melee range. And yet nobody touches him. That's just how good of a play. Even when they get on top of him, they still don't even do any damage.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such good awareness, right? It just really looks like he's on a different level. And I am so excited. I've been waiting all week, honestly, to see this matchup go. I also, this game was so fun, by the way. It was just Rookie absolutely bullying the enemy team, and in particular iBoy, every time just killing him whenever he found the window. But yeah, just great performance, and I want more of that, right? I want the hype, I want the head-to-head, I want to see the teams playing around it, I want matchups to be interesting. Not Corki Victor, but yeah, we'll see.
Please, like it's like a monkey paw. I'll take anything else other than that. But again, like this is obviously what we're going to be focusing on. These two guys are going to be the biggest things that come out of it. Historically, this has always been a fantastic matchup. Rookie versus Knight is something that has been going toe-to-toe for quite a few years now. You think back to probably one of the first times they ever really had high-stake matchups. It was IG versus Top Esports in the regional qualifier for 2019 Worlds. Went to all 5 games, and of course, Rookie was able to knock back down Knight out of that and keep himself going back to the World Championship to defend his title. These two mid laners know each other. They fought against each other loads of times. They have history with each other. But again, it's not just about them. It's not just going to be about that mid lane as much as it's a large part of it. It is about those other lanes as well. And for specifically V5, I think I got to think about, Rich or poor. How is Rich going to look in this top side right now? Because he didn't have a bad debut, but it definitely needed a little bit more of a push, to say the least, from his jungler.
He looked like he fit in, right? His Gragas game was fine. Like he had some good moments, right? I think that's the main thing, where he set up a team, And something I particularly want to praise him for is when he would find priority in the side lane, he'd move up towards mid, and then he'd threaten with an engage. And honestly, in team fights, it was pretty serviceable. But for the most part, it's like, you know, we saw him play Gragas. We saw him have a Graves game as well, which wasn't as stellar. But for the most part, I think he looks fine. I think that's, you know, the question's rich or poor. Around in the middle, right? I'd say is my judgment of him so far.
We're doing all right for ourselves.
You're doing okay, yeah.
We have a little bit in savings, you know, the pension plan's been set up, so it's a ticking away. We're not doing too bad for ourselves. You just bought a second-hand car, but it's decent. You know, you're getting places with it.
I think it's an upgrade from Invincible, because Invincible looks a bit rough. And I think, you know, he's what Victory 5 need, but I still want to see a bit more, and I want to see how he holds up in this one. But the other thing is, we're talking about the new addition to V5, is the fact that, you know, for top esports, we have Xiaopeng, who they've been running with more frequently, right? Who they've been using in the jungle and has been performing really well. And the way I kind of see it is it's kind of like the TT hyperbolic time chamber, right? His time on TT, which unceremoniously, I'm just going to say, that team did not work well. It was rough. But he was like the shining light of early aggression for it. And it's like, imagine going from TT, where you have to like try and do everything and still lose, to top esports, where when you find an early lead, it's like, yeah, I got Knight and Jackie Love on my team. Like, you know, you get them ahead, it's golden.
It literally takes off the training weights and he does like a Rock Lee and just like becomes like instantly super fast with all these extra things that aren't on him anymore. And honestly, like, you know, we have mentioned that yes, Tien did come onto this, but Xiaopeng has, as of late, been the preferred jungler. He has been the guy they have wanted to go with, because it does seem to be working an awful lot better for the side of top esports. They seem to be linking in an awful lot more, and we'll see how that trend continues into the split. But for the moment, it is going to be a very curious one looking at that. And again, you know, the TT hyperbolic time chamber is very real, I feel like, because Xiaopeng has been having very solid performances.
Yeah, he's looked good, right? I think the thing is, he's had that early aggression still, that sort of killer aspect. We've seen him play a range of things. Like, we've had the Nidalee, and he's looking for those early pressure moments where you sometimes wouldn't even see some of the top junglers go for these, because they're a bit more methodical. But when you have such strong laners as top esports, I feel like you can go for these aggressive plays. I feel like you can just rely on them giving you lanes that you can just influence slightly and push them in one side or the other.
Yeah, and that's where we want to see him do today. Again, big moment for him, and has looked very good and consistent. Really enjoyed watching him play. And again, like you mentioned, linking up with Jackie Love. He's not the guy getting the kills here, but he is the guy basically setting up Jackie Love for effectively what could have been a triple kill there. So really nice play coming out here from the side of top esports, but it hasn't always been 100% clean. And this is where we have to have a real conversation about top esports, and with Victory 5 as well. With the names they have on the roster, they should be coming in absolutely swinging. Still, you know, yet to really see enough from V5 to make a full call out. And for top esports, it has been a little bit rough and ready.
Yeah, and I think that's, I'm just going to say that this is why this series is going to be a banger, because we have mechanical gods and a bit of messy gameplay. So
this is the LPL. That's what we live for here.
I feel like that just describes the entire league, right? Mechanical gods, messy gameplay, because I for sure think this one is going to be a heated matchup, but the execution can be flawless.
Absolutely, and I think the big thing, this is probably the only real time I'll say it, this is a series where crazy is our game. This is the game. This is the one where this is probably going to be the most true out of all of them, as we wait to see now where these two teams want to go. And again, this is where I love looking at the drafts. I love looking at where the meta is right now, because for a lot of the other teams, it's very bog standard. But for these guys, you know, when you have likes of Rookie, Knight, Jackie Love, you know, Karsa, they can just throw out curveballs. They can come out with you with something that's completely off the wall. Maybe not so off the wall like SOFM, but definitely something that can work for your team. So for V5 and for top esports, I want to see maybe a couple of bit of innovative picks, look to be proactive around the map, and pick stuff that will be able to make the difference in those big team fights and in the lanes themselves.
Well, I think the big thing as well is there's so many powerful picks that you have to think about, like things like the Gwen, things like Corki, we have the Felios, which has been highly prioritized, then Zao really strong in the jungle. There's so many things you have to think, what can we risk giving over, right? what will just be too much of a problem to deal with. And it'll also be interesting to see how the game plan ends up developing in this one. I'm particularly interested around the mid lane matchup. I feel like we could just end up having like a bit of a scaling matchup in the mid lane, but we've seen both of them like have massive games on the Victor. I feel like if you give one of them a pick where they can carry, where they can 1v9, they absolutely will. So be interested to see how it ends up being contested there.
And it's something we actually didn't even mention at all, but it's Karsa going up against his former team. This is a Karsa revenge match, if you will. Who won the breakup? You know, was it Top Esports saying we got someone new, we're looking great, or is it Karsa saying no, you weren't good for me, I'm glad I'm out of that relationship? We'll have to wait and see. So want to see Karsa really put out for it. And again, Karsa has been... He's a divisive figure, I feel like, in the community. In my opinion, Karsa has been one of the top junglers throughout his entire career from LPL, which is incredibly lengthy. Even back when he was on Flash Wolves, and you know, he has been just one of the best junglers in the world, in my opinion, for that regard. Maybe as of right now, he's not having, you know, Canyon levels of performances, but I still think that he has the ceiling in order to produce that, and I want to see that come out a little bit today.
I think I found that just generally people are quick to turn on junglers, right? You know, they'll be like, oh, this jungler is like amazing, and they're like 5 minutes later, they're like, nope,
and then
terrible,
they ignore
the
the 4 losing lanes.
Dude, I mean, it's true in your solo queue games. Every jungler knows the pain of going through that when all your team's spamming you. But also, like, you look at this, so many instances where like players like Bengi or whatever have been really successful, and then like afterwards, looking back, everyone's hypercritical. And, you know, some criticism is definitely fair, but I think it's so easy to just blame your jungle, and you should stop doing that because they're trying, okay?
I think that's the big thing. Everyone's trying. Everyone's looking to go for it, but I still think this is going to be a very hype matchup. I think something that as well is going to be very interesting to see is how do Photic and PP God do up against Jackalov and Schwo. This is two big kind of, you know, carries for the side of Top Esports. If they can hold their own, not necessarily even just like, you know, win it, if just keep themselves from opening the floodgates, they should be able to transition that and again rely a little bit more on Rookie. But like we mentioned earlier today, you cannot be a one-note team. You cannot just have one good player in one good lane. You need to have multiple carries in multiple lanes in order to be considered one of the best teams.
And we get the Rek'Sai ban coming out. You love to see it, honestly. I think it's just a lot of respect there. But yeah, Renekton and Caitlyn taken away. If LeBlanc and the Jarvan. So Jarvan off the cards kind of means that, you know, these mobile lady carries have a lot less issue to worry about. So definitely could prioritize those highly. I feel like Jackie Love would be happy to take Aphelios if this Jinx is locked in and it is going to be secured. So we could see like an Aphelios Xin Zhao 1-2 from Top Esports. That's a very popular one.
Wow.
And they will just instantly lock that one in. On the other side, you know, if you are after the Thresh, now is the time to pick up a V5. I think in terms of junglers, Viego is still open and available if you want to take from the big four, you know, Xin Zhao, Jarvan, Lee Sin, and Viego. But they're going to go for the Trundle, which does match up well individually into the Xin Zhao and can duel him. And it looks like they will just pair that with the Thresh.
They'll pair it up. They'll get themselves going onto it. And again, the Gwen, this is a very very quick pick and ban coming out right now. And this is going to be boom, boom, boom. See exactly where they want to go for it. Now you see for Top Esports, they're going to be able to prioritize those bans at the top side. V5 going to offer a little bit into that mid lane, so waiting to see where they want to go. And my god, this is pick ban speed run right now. They're just going through these so fast.
Yeah, I mean, they know what they want. And the thing is, Top Esports, they picked the Gwen on third. It means they can ban away champs that he's going to have difficulty with. The Jace is gone. We've seen that matchup a lot and how Jace can sort of pull out ahead. The Kennen isn't really something that's going to massively punish the Gwen, but has that team fighting power. So giving Zoom the best matchup possible. The V5 TF God, and they actually go for the Rakan in this situation. So we'll see what support Top Esports picks. I thought they would have gone for support here, but it looks like they might want mid priority, right? We said Victor could be a contested pick. If you don't pick it here, we'll probably see it go to the other side. So now V5, they need their top lane matchup. And I think probably we'll expect maybe the Gragas for Rich is a fine matchup to sort of just neutralize the Gwen. And also he had obviously that good series before. And we'll see what Rookie goes for. And he's actually going to bring out the Azir right now.
Okay, this I'm a little bit happier with. It's not exactly great, but I'll take it because this is, I thought it was going to be the Corki. They are going to lock that one in, so that's going to be Rookie going onto that. Something that we know every single time Rookie can perform on it. This is just one of the standard champions you can play you know, in the LPL and know that you're just going to have it in your back pocket. And now we get the Akali in top side as well, so this could be tank Akali in the top lane for Rich.
Yeah, and it's actually one of the worst matchups for Gwen, right? Here, two worst matchups are, I'd say, Jason and Akali. So I love that Rich has the confidence to bring it out. You know, I was thinking maybe just the Gragas to neutralize, but he's going with the confident pick where he wants to challenge Zoom and pull out ahead. We'll see what Top Esports want to go for in the support role. Braum Aphelios is a very old school combo we used to see back in the 200 years era. So you can stack it up very quickly and they will just lock it down. Bear in mind, a lot of auto attackers on your team to easily stack that up. Wow, that's a quick draft.
Yeah. Take a breath, my son. You got to do my job there for a second.
We kind of flew through that one pretty quickly, but a lot to talk about and take away here. Both teams, a lot of scaling options. I feel like, you know, V5 have kind of answered quite well, right? They have Thresh and Braum, which is fine. Jinx can outrange Aphelios later, even though early he's going to be able to have a bit more pressure. The Azir into the Victor is an interesting one, which again, Azir has a lot of surprising priority in lane from his soldiers. You have Trundle into Xin Zhao, who can obviously match him. You have Akali into Gwen, which is a good matchup for Akali. I think V5 just kind of picked to have favorable matchups. Whereas on the other side for Top Esports, it feels like if we get into those close nitty-gritty team fights, then they'll be pretty hard to beat.
Honestly, I feel like this Azir pick is going to be, it's Rookie's third most picked of all time. I believe he's played 60-something games. I think it's actually, this will be the 62nd. And he's 34 wins, 27 losses. So something he's incredibly comfortable with. And it's something that can have that little bit of extra factor. Yes, the Corki into the Victor will have the poke, but you get the poke while also having that Emperor's Divide, while having the Shurima Shuffle to make plays. And what do we talk about coming into this series? We want to see both these mid laners on playmakers, and this is something that V5 now have. It will take a little while to scale, but it's something that they can work with. On the other side, Top Esports, a lot of scaling, a lot of wave clear, and a lot of ways of just making things work in the individual lanes. Very curious to see how it goes. I think, like you said, very quick draft, because I think both teams got exactly what they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was definitely the end a bit of innovation. I would have thought, thinking about like, okay, what do we want to bring here? But at the start, it was just flying out. They'd clearly planned this very obviously as to like what they thought the enemy team would pick and what they'd do in response. I think the thing with V5's composition is, right, we talk about the range advantage. Oh, that's just, and I know I've seen it, but it's
so
still
pretty.
so sick.
So pretty.
Yeah, like the range advantage a Jinx has over Aphelios, the range advantage Azir has over Victor in the later stages, and the fact that, you know, Azir and Thresh can enable that by maintaining the distance with things like the Lantern, the Flay, the Emperor's Divide, we have the Pillar as well. So I think V5's comp might be a bit harder to execute in team fights, but a lot of potential there. Whereas Top Esports, man, if they just group up and just hit targets and push forward, and as long as they can connect onto the right targets, they should be pretty good. But I'm interested to see how these lanes pans out. You know, we see Xiaopeng be really aggressive in the early game and try and instigate and make things happen. If you could do that here, it would definitely pay off.
It would be massive if they can make it work, and we can now see both top laners going with that Ignite, both top laner going with Conqueror as well. It is a press the attack here for Karsa on the Trundle, so looking for that early skirmishing power, of course, and actually lethal tempo here for Xiaopeng on the Xin Zhao. So definitely a little bit more variety in the ruin choices for a lot of these guys, and we'll wait to see how this one works for both of them. As we can see already, Rich getting jumped on by Zoom, and Zoom is just trying to keep him away from those first little few minions. I do believe they both got experience. No one got a minion, and now they can go back to actually farming.
Yeah, that's actually how you play Akali level 1. Is like you're so useless. You just hit your shroud and soak XP. Like it's not a fun time. Akali does gain momentum, right? The more points you get in your Q, the less energy it costs. You can start to trade frequently. But also when you have your E, W, and Q, that's when you can start look to proc your passive, trade a bit more, dash away from the Gwen. Gwen notoriously strong level 1, so you know, I said this is a hard matchup for Gwen. It takes a while to get going, but Akali will eventually find a foothold and really start to have a presence in this matchup.
Yeah, nicely done here from both teams to get exactly what they want. See where they can make those movements happen. Both junglers going to be starting on their red side of the jungle. Actually, excuse me, it was those blue side. Yeah, sorry, it was blue side they both started. They're now moving into their red side. I forgot it was Trundle and Xin Zhao and how just destructive, it's crazily fast they are. But it is going to be a little bit of pressure here for the V5 bot lane. They have to respect the Thresh with that Glacial Augment. We talk about it so many times, but that little bit of extra CC and, of course, the damage reduction can be so massive in those early game skirmishes. But where do you want to see now where these junglers go? Where do you want to see them prioritize? And do you think that we're going to see much action in this early game?
I don't think we'll necessarily see a ton of action in the early game, right? I think, you know, Rookie has priority, but he's hard to gank. Oh, speaking of which, Got a little bit too aggressive. Yeah.
Not
if
a great
passive
trade
on him. If he had the Braum passive on, he would have been in trouble. I think mostly, you let the lanes play out in terms of V5, right? You know your bot lane and mid lane are pretty safe. I mean, even every lane is kind of safe, right? They all have like ways to get out of ganks. So Caster just kind of needs to facilitate them when they are overextended, like bot lane is right now. Be in position to assist. It's really Xiaopeng who can start to like make something happen a little bit more, and I think it's more opportunistic, right? You spot moments where like Rookie might be overextended or out of position, and that's where you look to capitalize.
See what they want to do, where they want to go. We will see Zoom getting a little bit of an early recall off, as he does have the priority in that top side. Goes back. It's what we call a cheater recall. If you're watching LEC, you will know that Medic made reference to that. You go back and exactly as he said, you get yourself a Doran's item, you get yourself back into the lane so you can kind of control how this matchup goes, gets himself another Doran's item on top of it. I'm not quite sure if he started with the ring or if he started with the blade. I think he started with the ring because he has 2 pots, but again, good start here for Top Esports. And again, dead even from the gold side of things. I want to see where the junglers can make an impact, and once we start hitting level 6s, that's when this game will start to open up just a little bit more.
Yeah, it's also looking at what the supports can potentially do to roam. Oh, we're seeing Rookie, applying a lot of pressure to Knight right now. Just jabbing him with the soldiers, and a little bit difficult for Knight. I think he just wants to get the wave pushed in so he can reset. Rookie a bit more focused on hitting Knight than he was on hitting the wave.
Well, there's a Mountain Drake to start us all off. There's both junglers now getting onto their second clear. Actually, we have to see Karsa go back, so he'll have a little bit more gold in his back pocket as he goes back for the first return. Waves being pushed on either side, and you can see as the laning phase goes on, after you get like, you know, a couple of levels, it becomes a little bit easier for the Akali to be able to trade off, even behind technically in terms of a back. Not the worst situation to be in. Your 5-point strike will do a lot of damage to the back line. You just have to hit up twice and basically last hit them at the first few levels, so not the worst in the world. We will see Xiaopeng now roaming down towards this bot side. We'll know that the Krugs have spawned. Cook does not land. That could have been very detrimental for the side of V5. I'm almost, they're probably past or unknowing to them, probably very happy they did not hit that hook.
Yeah, and I've loved seeing this kind of ebb and flow of junglers, right? When PP God and Protic was shoving in, they had coverage from Karsa. When I went the other way, Xiaopeng shows up, and then they've kind of gone back. And again, the junglers are being there, so they know if the enemy jungler turns up, I'm there to cover. I'm there to defend my laners. I'm happy with them just playing it out as it is. I just need to make sure that nothing untoward happens caused by, you know, Karsa or Xiaopeng showing up on the opposite side. So it's nice seeing this ebb and flow, but it looks like Xiaopeng might be looking for an opportunity here. The wave is pushing into top esports, so they might set this up, but Karsa's there.
Yeah, Karsa's here. Now they know Karsa is here. They're going to drop down the hook. It's Glacial Augment as Zhou gets himself to stand behind me, but you can see everyone just jumping around. They have so much mobility on both of these supports for themselves and for others that no one ends up going down. It's just a trade of health bars. Xiaopeng needs to be very careful, though. Pillar of Ice does land. Now PP Guy is left on his lonesome. First blood is almost certain to go over to Top Esports. Look at Rookie. He's been the first one to roam. He's got ultimate available. They'll get the heal out of Jackie Love. They come straight onto Karsa. Zhou is taking a lot of damage. He just about survives. He's still alive. Flash forward. Photic will pick up a kill. And after all that scrappy fighting, it is still a 1-for-1. Both AD carries getting themselves some first bloods.
But it's a win for Top Esports because they managed to get Knight pushing the wave in, getting some plates. He's in a comfortable spot, and now they might fish more. Knight, he could be caught.
He could be caught, and it's actually Karsa who gets himself caught out. Xiaopeng was ready to go ahead and capitalize on a bit of a lazy move, but now Xiaopeng in a little bit of trouble. Will get hit by the zap, has no flash to get himself away, and they'll trade it back. Both these teams tit for tat, 2 for 2.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth here. Both teams just sort of exploding out in the bot lane play, and then it spreads up to mid. And overall, I think both teams can sort of walk away okay with how it went. But the critical mistake here was kind of V5 trying to go in and Xiaopeng, but then not committing, and then PP God ends up getting split off from the team. They can't follow up, and you have to respect the Braum in this situation. This is why Rookie doesn't actually dive in and doesn't go too aggressive, because he actually has to respect the fact that if he gets up close and personal, he will get run down. And honestly, I think he actually didn't have the Emperor's Divide then. I called it wrong. Was on cooldown going into this play. Was level 6, but didn't have it.
I wonder why he didn't.
I don't know. That's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
I assumed he had it because he came in level 6 and then he didn't use it. And I was like, oh, it's on cooldown, but he didn't use it. So he must have used it before. Maybe to trade with Knight or something. But I was a little confused.
But similar to what we were saying, you know, it's just kind of one of those mysteries of the world that you just don't
I will
have
be
an
left
answer to.
wondering until later when I watch the VOD.
Yeah, when we watch it. I don't even think we saw it on the VOD, to be perfectly honest. I don't think we saw it at all.
Yeah, but if I watch it back, I can see. Okay,
Here
now
we
I
go.
see if you can get a replay.
Thank
so
you.
perfect.
Yeah, he actually just goes in, tries to get a little bit of a move. I actually think, yeah, just disengages, uses it as a,
Didn't
as a
even
way
have
of
to
pushing
wait
the wave.
long. Perfect, right? And honestly, that could have been a big difference maker. If he did have that ult available, that could have been something that could have turned that bot lane skirmish into more kills. He just fished for something on Knight there, but Knight having flash doesn't go too hard now. Herald secured by Top Esports. They're the ones to make the first proactive move. We'll see what they can do with it. It's actually going to be leeching Leah from Rich, so it's not the Chem tanker Carly. It is going to be the more AP focused one. Yeah, very sad.
Yeah, a bit of a sad moment there, but now Shroud here, the Moonlight Vigil comes out. No real lockdown just yet. We'll have the Shroud available to him very, very soon. We'll use the Perfect Execution first part to use it to get onto the Braum, get himself out, and that's going to be a pretty easy trade up. And again, we're just seeing very, very similar trades coming out right now from both sides. You can see on the bot lane, it is going to be Zoom backing himself, but making sure he's not being taken down. The Rift Herald in top lane does, though, mean that Top Esports will have the trade, and there's a lovely little setup there from the observers. You get the dual screen of both objectives being taken at the same time.
Yeah, and one of the things is that, you know, using the Herald means you're splitting the gold with your jungler. But the thing is, because, you know, you need Karsa to help you take the tower, they're going to end up splitting the gold anyway, right? Because Karsa, as a Trundle, does so much damage to towers, you're just going to end up splitting it. They're still going to fall behind, right? There should be a second tower taken for Top Esports. They got all that first tower gold on the Jackie Love as well. We do see maybe a bit of an overstay. No, they will be able to get it here. Rich playing with fire. He's still got the lantern.
Rich, okay, Lantern saves him and he has the Shroud. They did get the exhaust out of him, so 2 towers to 1. That does go in favor of Top Esports, and they got themselves about a 1,500 gold lead. That is the power of the Rift Herald. That is the power you get when you have that early tempo, and it's why you can't really just trade off when you have that Rift Herald in the back pocket.
Yeah, and it is Top Esports made the more proactive move to get there, to secure it, and then this is the payoff, right? They've got a sizable gold lead off the back of that. They have equal goal in terms of 80 carries, honestly, is the critical thing, but a lot of money onto Xiaopeng as a result of him being in range to pick up that. And even Zhou has a pretty decent lead of a PP gold, which is not relevant, right? Sports, whatever. But still, Top Esports starting this off strong. And guess we just kind of see how this ends up developing from here. I think the big thing is that both mid towers pretty healthy, and this is a game where both mid laners have a decent amount of wave clear, so it might be tricky to see those tier 1s go down anytime soon until a second Herald spawns.
This game is already getting me very excited because we're seeing just how smart both these teams are playing with the game. They're not taking unfavorable fights. They're looking for advantages while also trading in, making sure they're getting something, not losing anything. Yes, you get an extra tower on the side of Top Esports. And Joe goes in by yourself. You've no buddy with you. You can't really take this fight. He's going to use the Glacial Fissure to try and keep himself alive. It will just about. They will get a little bit more damage down to Karsa! Photic! Nice ultimate there from downtown. And that small mistake, very rightly punished there by V5.
That cleans it up, but look what Top Esports have managed to do, right? Zoom was unchecked, getting plates. Members are moving down, right? He's already gotten 1 plate. This is going to be a second. How much is that kill worth compared to all this gold being taken? Already, 2 plates is more than 1 kill, right? And they're going to continue to pick up more. Technically, kill and assist is worth more than 2 plates, but I digress, right? Top Esports answering, that's the key thing.
Again, it's hit for tat, pushing in, getting a, you know, there's no force without an equal reaction. You cannot just push and not expect a pull. There has to be something there for Top Esports, and this game is still very, very close. I will say though, the kill going over and the gold going over to Photic is massive. You're able to get this rapid fire Jinx going early. If you're able to get them into a position to carry, this could be huge for V5. Let's have a look at the replay, because again, Zhou kind of just walking off, expecting himself to be okay, and he does end up dying, but they have to invest a lot from the side of V5.
The critical thing is normally when you're warding as a Braum, you need someone to jump to, right? And he didn't immediately have that. It took a while before Knight arrived. He could jump to him. He shouldn't be going alone, and it was a nice snipe from Photic to pick that up.
See now Knight taking a little bit of harassment. No Emperor's Divide just yet there for the side of Rookie, so wasn't going to be able to go for it now. But now we start to see where this dragon starts to spawn. 40 seconds till that comes onto the map. It feels like we've been in this game for much longer than we have. We still have turret plates. There is still plenty of standing gold available. But both these teams are playing at such a high pace.
Last game from last series was a lot slower, so I think this just felt like so much quicker, even though it's honestly been a fairly par for the course. And now Dragon at 20 seconds, right? V5 has secured the first. Top Esports looks to be positioning around, but there hasn't been too many efforts to get vision control. V5 have been focused on the mid priority, and we'll see if they try and push in now, but at the moment it looks like they're taking it slow.
Can slow both the mid laners in the bot side. Both top laners have
Oh, they can
themselves
catch
TP.
Knight.
If they can catch Knight, it would be huge. Karsa's there. They might have to blow his flash. He's going to get hit by the glacial, the frozen pillar.
That's huge. Ult down,
That's
flash
pretty
down
big.
for Knight. That's big team fighting tools unavailable. Top esports are still going to start up the dragon and try and pull it out, but they definitely lost a lot of value off the back of that.
They still have a Gwen, no Rift Maker for either of these top laners, and basically still waiting on the first item for your mid laners as well. This could be a big pivotal moment here for both these sides. Dragon, 2000 HP. Karsa is in the pit. They're going to go straight away. They don't want the Dragon. They want Rookie, and he is turned into fried chicken straight away. The Crescent Guard just stops any kind of damage coming out from Photic. Immediate turn there. Xiaopeng sets up the play. They get the Dragon.
And that's the aggression from Xiaopeng you love to see. Rookie, Flash available, Emperor's Divide available. You have PP God there with a Lantern and none of it goes up. Instantly takes him out. Really solid play, and that instantaneous pick meant it doesn't matter that Knight doesn't have Ultra Flash. It literally means nothing because they get the objective, and now it's a Chem Tech Soul on the map. It's that big one, the one we always talk about, the one dislike.
For better or for worse.
Yeah. So it's going to be a high priority in this game, right? And we'll see the replay. So I believe what might end up happening here is Xiaopeng ends up stacking up his Q on the Dragon because Rookie isn't given time to react. So I think, yeah, he stacks up. There's one, there's two, flash, and then he instantly gets the knock up. So really smart play to use that technique, stacking it up on the objective and then instantly getting the knock up on the Rookie so he can't outplay it. And that's kind of, it catches people off guard, right? Because if you look at the composition of top esports, they don't have any instantaneous hard CC, right? Like the ult from Braum's very slow, you know, Knight, Gravity Field has to stack up, Xiaopeng has to stack his autos. It all feels like you have time to react, and Xiaopeng did a great job to catch him out there.
We've seen now the trade happening. There's going to be a TP in top side. The Rift Herald was secured here by V5, so they don't lose out on that objective, but it's now 3 turrets to 1. Jackie Love in a little bit of trouble, going to be hit by the pillar. They tried to drop down the traps, but Jackie Love very calm, very collected, recognizing that he does not need to use his flash to get himself away. He's had plenty of time to walk away from this, but now Xiaopeng, he's actually going to get caught out. Yes, he is, and I don't think he's going to have a lot of options available to him. There's the Glacial Fissure, going to be used to get the Pillar of Ice down. He does have the Crescent Guard. Can he get on top of this Blast Cone? Oh, that was so smart from Rookie. They stop him from getting the Blast Cone away. Rookie gets some revenge. Nicely done there by V5. They now have an opportunity where they're 4v5 on the map.
Yeah, long chase, they do get the kill, but the thing is, I don't really think they translate it into much, right? Took a long time to do that, and at the end of the day, there's nothing really to take on the map, so definitely worth doing, don't get me wrong, but not really much capitalized on the back of it. And actually, in fairness, Karsa and PP got both burning their summoners there, their flashes, so not really much payoff. Now, we do have Knight with the Luden's Echo in this game, not going for the Crown of the Shattered Queen, which, honestly, the Akali is a backline threat by all means, but I feel like Rookie and Photic, you know, they have these longer range threats that probably proc it quite easily. I like the Luden for extra burst when you do get in range.
Yeah, it's the Luden's Tempest, actually. It's no longer the Luden's Echo. I'm going to push my non-existent glasses up and snore as the actually crew come in. I'm only teasing. I have to take the wins sometimes because I very rarely get wins over the analysts. You know, I have to take the small little ones.
You say you know items, then name every single Ornn upgrade.
Name every Ornn upgrade. I couldn't even tell you one. Like, I'll be totally honest with you. I couldn't even name one of them. But you know, maybe I'll come back to you after I've Googled it.
Yeah, I can hear the keys tapping away.
Yeah,
there.
just a little like, give me a second, click, click.
It's always whenever when you ask someone in a question when they're by a computer, and it's just like, I'm thinking.
Yeah, mechanical keyboard starts going. I do know. I think it's like Lord Warden is the Immortal Shieldbow one or something like that. That's the only one I know.
Oh, yeah, that's the only one you know after you stall the conversation out for 30 seconds. Wow.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But that, in fairness, if I wanted to be really an ass about it, I could have just been like, you know, let me just look up all these things and quickly wrap them off. But anyway, we digress. There was nothing happening of interest on the map. It is about a 1,700 gold lead, which isn't that much to talk about. But PP God in a lot of trouble. You can't lantern yourself, and now the TPs are going to be committed. Zoom, though, needs to be very, very careful. Both TPs came out. That was the Akali joining and the Victor. So no TP for Knight. A minute till Dragon spawns. Both teams have a Dragon each. Joe's taking a lot of damage. This is the rapid fire cannon build that we're talking about. This Jinx is 202 and feeling fine. They will have a lot of damage, and with the Rift Herald in hand, they can put pressure on mid.
Yeah, V5, look at that massive wave stacked up bot lane. Someone needs to answer it. It's way too much gold. They got the Herald down mid. This is a perfect setup for the Dragon from V5. Top Esports, I'm not even sure they can contest this easily. Like you see Rich pushing it in and the tower down for the Azir. V5 are really stacking the deck on this one.
They are just getting all those little advantages that we talked about earlier. The Rift Herald being able to use that for pressure. They haven't turned for the Dragon just yet. Still 20 seconds till it spawns. But with the Shurima's legacy now in that mid lane, you can see just how confident Photic feels with PP God and Toad.
Yeah, not really sure on Costa's decision to go up top side into the Skull. I feel like the play would have been to go into the bot side river and establish vision control, because now somehow Top Esports have routed you and they're in the river. You should not have let that happen. You have a pillar to block them in, and they got to the objective.
They got the objective, but look at Rookie in the mid lane. Rookie's just going to go for this. They may just try and take a steal off of this. Yep, they're going to miss it completely, though. They tried to go for it, but now they may look for a pinch. They're seeing if Rich can do anything here. Doesn't get hit by the concussive blow. They're still going back onto this, and Rookie got the mid-tier too, so it's a trade of power now for power later. Gold basically even. They will get the push in mid lane as well, and it looks like they're going to try and translate that into another tower in top.
Honestly, like, the mid lane tier 2 doesn't give that much gold, right? It wasn't the one that was given extra value. It was only the side lane tower tier 2 that was. So it doesn't really give power now in terms of gold, but it's like the map controls, right? Having that ability to push in deeper, push deeper waves, lean towards that Baron, have control of that. It felt like V5 were like, you know, we're not too bothered about second Dragon. Both teams are so far away from Soul. Even if Top Esports get the next Dragon and the one after, it's still like a 30-minute Soul, right? V5 are factoring in that they can have a plan in place before then. Right now, they want that tier 2 taken. It puts extra pressure on this tier 1 top. It means that it's easier to play for Baron, right? Because Top Esports have to move so far away from the safe haven of the towers, because they're mid, they only have the inhibitor tower open and available. So we'll see how that ends up paying off for V5, or if it doesn't.
This game, again, tit for tat. It's a push, it's a pull. There's an unmovable object and an unstoppable force. Both these teams know where they are strong. They know where they can take fights. And they know that they can't just let something go for free. They've now equaled out the gold, basically. It's only about 500 in favor of Top Esports. There is a Dragon in favor of Top Esports, but they're still a good 8.5 minutes away from a Soul. So that's 30 minutes effectively on the clock before, you know, you're going to be going for that Soul point. And that's where this game can even flip on the Baron take. You could look to try and open the bases. This Akali, this Gwen, both getting very, very relevant. Both these AD carries sitting on 2 items at least. It's starting to ramp up bit by bit, and both these teams are not giving an inch.
Absolutely not. Both teams just trying to find as much momentum as possible. 400 gold difference at this point. It's really down to the wire. And both AD carries looking strong. Remember, Photic with those resets can make a big difference, but both teams have such prominent backline threats. We'll just have to see who can sort of find access to them. Photic taking a big bit of poke, but probably isn't too concerned.
The extra bit of safety. As I say, Photic, he's going to have to use his flash and his cleanse. He just about survives the power of the Gale Force of Felios with those guns, with that Gravitum. You have to respect it. So that Summoner's down now for the V5 AD carry.
Massive mistake, honestly. PP God should have been there ready with the lantern for him. If you're going to walk up like that, you have to think of Aphelios as like an assassin. That is how he plays against these longer range carries.
It's getting so tense. You can feel the pressure building, bubbling over just a little bit. But for the moment, that mid lane tier 1 will stand, but I don't think they can make it stand for much longer. We'll see Rookie using the Shurima Shuffle, get himself over the wall into safety. So by pure pressure alone, Top Esports are able to push in mid and get themselves their 4th tower of the game.
Yeah, and now both teams can sort of answer their side lanes, right? We see a big wave pushing up top that someone needs to collect. We see a big wave pushing bot that someone needs to collect. So we have that build up of pressure. It ends up blowing over, and we get the tower taken, and then both teams go and answer, pick up jungle camp, pick up those waves. Oh, Rich. Oh. Wait, he
Knife doesn't let anyone steal his camps. Not even he'll have to commit the. You know what? That drops ult. Giga Chad walks away.
Such a Chad move, honestly, from Knight. Doesn't chance it. Doesn't care one bit. He's like, you ain't getting this Grump from me. I mean, it's going to be up for Dragon, so who really cares at the end of the day?
That's amazing. That's such a, like, you know, uses ult on Grump refuses to elaborate, walks away. Like, that's so funny. Well played there by Knight, I guess. And I did a little bit of research before we were going in, just to go on a slight tangent, because I found something. Do you know what an Ornn upgrade on Eclipse is? It's Syzygy. S-Y-Z-Y-G-Y. Syzygy. I feel like they just let a cat hit the keyboard with that one.
But that can't be real, honestly.
It is, I swear to God. I just Googled it because I was actually... Syzygy. S-Y-Z-Y-G-Y. That's what the upgrade on Eclipse is called. So, look, you know, the more... Honestly, I kind of want more Ornns now because that's what I want to call that item. It's pretty great. It's pretty damn great. Anyway, I digress, as we like to say on this.
We've been doing a lot of digressing. Right?
We do that a lot. I find we both end up going off on tangents. But with 20 seconds till Dragon spawns, this will be soul point for top esports, and V5 find themselves now in a little bit of a disadvantage. But remember, Photic has no cleanse. Photic has no flash. That is massive for the side of V5 and top esports, and get on top of that Jinx without the Thresh being in a position. But as I say that, Shao Pung has been caught, and now his Crescent Guard is down. He will not have the same survivability. Top esports got to back away.
Yeah, they poke him out, they burn him down, and I think that might be enough for them to just head over and pick up the Dragon. This would be V5 equalizing 2 for 2. The response from top esports is going to be push up mid. They can rotate towards Baron, establish some vision there, but I don't think they can do much more than that. Top esports losing out in this regard. Actually, they might actually take this mid lane tower. It's a little bit risky, though.
It's a little bit risky. They need to be very, very careful as PP God and Rich were walking over. They get a lot of chunk damage onto it, but they will not get the tower at the end of it. So 2 dragons apiece, 1,000 gold lead for top esports. It's basically just in that little turret they took as an advantage. So not really a lot for them to talk about just yet. And Baron is something that both these teams could shred. And there's no vision here for the side of V5. Top esports might just go for it.
And the thing is the chem fog's there, right? It's so hard to move into. They use the Jinx rocket to scout, and then they throw the blue trinket down and follow up. They're going to try and zone them off. They're just trying to zone them. Yeah, they're not trying to stop them from getting in.
I mean, that was very premature, though. You've got Rookie now coming in. They're going to fully commit to this Baron. Can they get away with it? No, I don't think they can. They're going to have to try and commit to it. They will secure the Baron, but the victor is now dead. There's the Shrima Shovel between a rock and a hell of a lot of soldiers. And look at Photic just free firing. 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4. He's going to try and get this one. No, not quite able to get it. You only get one of the Baron buffs out. It's a 4 for 3 trade as top esports go for the flip.
Oh my god, that came down to the wire, and you saw Rich. The critical thing is he killed Knight on the back end, but he couldn't get back over the wall. He had no way to, so he's just sitting there watching the fight go on. We see as it breaks out, this is the danger, right? You're getting this Jinx and this Azir, and you get trapped in the pit. So we see, first on the side, Rich just killing Knight, and then being stuck over the pit with nowhere to get over. And then Rookie with this huge Emperor's Divide. Everyone is trapped in the pit. It's perfect scenario for a Jinx just a free hit. But the thing is, Rich isn't there to assist, so he's just kind of watching. Zoom eventually gets the cooldowns to dash over the wall. And the thing is, right, in terms of team gold, top esports can kind of be happy with that because they only traded 1 kill less, but they got the Baron gold, right? But the thing is, V5 got their gold onto Photic. 5-0-2 now on the Jinx. That is a pretty big cash in. I think they can be more than happy with that one.
It's just such a close game. 1,500 gold, and you can see the Baron play is only about 1,000, so not really exactly the kind of play you want to be getting as you take that big purple ward. And they only have 1 Baron buff left as well, and everyone can deal with it. The Akali has decent wave cleared now as she finally gets up to her 2nd item. You have very good items off the Jinx, 3.5. You even got the Hex Drinker as well, just in case the Gwen or the Victor gets on top of you. And that was, again, with Photic having no summoners. They were very much at a disadvantage, but I feel like top esports just went for something and very much felt pressured in doing it because it was probably the first time they lost an objective without gaining one.
And that's what's going to make this next fight so interesting in 2 minutes, right? So it's going to be 3rd dragon for either team, so it's definitely going to be a high priority because by all means, you don't want to give over 3 to the other side when it's Chemtech stall. But the thing is, right, Photic's the only one who has summoners. I mean, Joe has flash. Outside of that, everyone burnt their summoners in that fight. So it's really going to be Photic having that edge over everyone else when he's already so fed. Now, Zoom, pretty high leveled. He obviously survived another fight. Level 16 has a farm advantage over Rich. And with the Baron buff as well, it's actually kind of tricky to hold him in the side lane. But you can't really dive in Akali. You can just kind of sit under Shroud and play the wave. 1,500 is gold lead, a minute 30 on this next dragon. And really, I think those summoners from Photic could be critical. They could be pivotal. We're not going to see flashes from anyone else but Joe. And really, his is not that impactful. It comes down to how the team set up for it.
I mean, the big thing I'm looking at right now is that will Knight have his flash? Will Jackie Wolf have his for this impending fight? That's the big thing. It depends on how they can delay this. They will take the tier 2 in mid. They have themselves a little kind of minion. It's going to last for about another few seconds, and then he'll go down. Yep, that's the Baron buff's now gone, so they don't even get that mid tier 2. Both 80 carries went back. They both finish off big key items. Jackie Love now with that Infinity Edge. He is the 3-item 200 years of Felios that we all love talking about. Cosmic Drive was finished off for Zoom as well quite a bit back. While we look at the other side of things, you can see with that Verdant Barrier 4, Rich, he also has the Shadow Flame. So big power spikes coming in, and I feel like Rookie's going back just to finish off Azania's here to try and make sure he has that little bit of extra safety for the Azir in this incoming team fight.
Well, we'll see what he has enough to buy. Looks like he doesn't quite have enough for the Zhonya's, so he just got the Codex. But either way, you can see V5's trying to get control of this area and push in. Top esports have to be really respectful. Level 15 Jinx with 4 items, super threatening right now. Has the summon advantage over everyone else. No one is really that close. And remember, like, V5 will just take this dragon. If you opt to try and stall it, they will just take it. So V5 laying down some poke. Not letting top esports get a foothold, but they are going to try and push through mid, get the wave priority, and force it that way.
All right, very, very quickly, how do you want to approach this if you're top esports? It's very clear you can't walk that far forward. You have to try and go for it. Where do you want to go?
I think you just have to give it up. I think it's too hard to push in when you don't have the vision control. You can't get in through the chem fog. There's Rookie and there's the Jinx. You know, to just accept it's gone, back away. The real way you want to fight is you want Zoom on a flank, you want Xiaopeng coming in from multiple angles. You want to make things difficult, right? If you're playing front to back against this V5 composition, it's a bad time. You're running through Trundle Pillars, you're running through Emperor's Divides, Thresh Boxes, you have long range of Photic and Rookie. You need to approach it from a flank and approach from multiple directions, because that's how it becomes difficult. If you just run straight at them, you'll lose.
This game, and this is only game 1, by the way, everyone watching. This is game 1 of this best of 3. This is exactly why this is our match of the week. You can see both teams going tit for tat. But if you weren't here and you're only joining us now, the pick ban was probably the fastest I've ever seen. But I will have to stop myself. Photic with PP God doesn't know the Xiaopeng is off to the side, so they need to be very, very careful with how far forward they push. You can see good damage. Actually, not really that great damage with the Unbreakable coming up. Zhuo able to tank that up while they clear out that mid wave. Both the Gwen in bot side and the Azir in top lane trying to get those side waves in order. Both teams hovering around, seeing what they can find, fishing for someone just to take that step too far forward, which could end the game.
Absolutely. It's such down to the wire. Like, one mistake could be such a big difference. And the big thing, right, is V5 are happy to stall this out, right? If they play it slow for that next dragon, that is the pivotal one. Because if they secure it, they get one of the, I mean, the strongest buff in the game, right? In the Chemtech Soul. Whereas it goes in the other direction, top esports get one more dragon, right? Really not that big of a deal. So very much going to come to a pass at that 3-minute point when they start to play for that one. For now, though, both teams are fishing for mid-price control, seeing what they can do, pushing and prodding at the other team.
Let's have a look at the items right now. You do have a stopwatch on Rich and a fully completed Zhonya's there for Rookie, so both those guys will have stasis. Zhu has answered in kind. He has a Zhonya's of his own, and actually Xiaopeng as well, but no stopwatch or Zhonya's for Knight, no stopwatch for the Aphelios, so we'll see what they're able to do. They are going to see the Ice Pillar go down. Shuo has to use the Unbreakable, otherwise he would have taken about 2 crits and probably died. Photic, with that red buff, will be able to keep himself alive and keep himself safe. They are going to see the TP in, but it's a little bit far away. Rich will use it if we're going to see it engage going in. There's the Glacial Fissure coming in. Xiaopeng tries to jump down on the Photic, but Photic stays alive. Now Rich is in a wrong place all by himself, and they find themselves the pick.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the play was from V5, right? They just TP Rich in for what? To contest the mid tower so they can throw one down. They end up getting caught out. Photic nearly dies, burns both summoners critically, and Rich goes down, and now they head onto the Baron. V5 trying to approach, but Knight is still so threatening.
He's so threatening. Here we go. Karsa trying to run in, but Knight just keeping everyone away. The Super Mega Death Rocket not going to be enough. That's Baron for top esports. They get themselves the big purple worm, and this time around, they're getting people out with it.
I don't know why V5 forced it, right? They should have been happy to stall it out for the next dragon. Next dragon, they either get Chemtech Soul, and even if top esports take it, they only get 1 extra dragon, right? It's so heavily favored towards them. But instead, they opt to go for this I don't know. I don't know what the plan was here, right? They're like, let's run up mid and throw down the tower. They get engaged on. Lantern very late for Photic, and then he ends up having to burn both summoners to get away from this situation. Rich goes in very out of sync with the rest of the team. Gets stunned so he can't dash out. Just messy from V5. The top esports do not hesitate to punish.
Now we come back into the game and we see a GA here for Jackie Love. The push in mid lane is going to be answered here. There is still plenty of wave clear available, but this is where the Trundle starts to lose a lot of its value, in my opinion. The Anonymous change on him, so he's just a big meat while he is a pillar bot at this point to try and set up the rest of his team. But outside of that, he's just not going to have a lot of value. We can see Xiaopeng still hunting, still being aggressive. A minute until Dragon spawns. I feel like top esports are just going to be able to get that by pure right, and that's going to mean that the side of V5 will not get themselves a soul. It will be soul point for both of these teams.
Yeah, I think it's just too difficult to move through, right? The zone control so powerful, and the chem fog makes it a pain to try and push through when you don't have vision already established. So easy to get jumped on, so easy to get threatened. V5 going to try and walk up mid, but I think it might just be doomed on this Dragon. Got to respect the Baron pressure.
No Banshees there for Knight as the zap does hit, but they might just break open the base right now. But again, top esports, you have to be so careful. That is a near 6-item jinx you're going against. You are looking at 3.5 items onto the Azir. This team can turn it around. Both these teams, if they find an opportunity, should be able to burst down pretty much anybody. There's not really a lot of protection on either side except for a couple of Zhonya's to delay. So both sides very well aware that one mistake could literally cost them this game.
Right, Dragon spawning in a few seconds. Top esports by all means have mega control over the area, but they're looking for something.
Right. They're looking for something, but that wasn't really there. There's a good glacial fixture there from Zhuo to just delay everyone out. Look at Rich. They're going to try and catch out this Brahmin. He has got flash. They aren't going to land the pillar just yet. And again, little small mistakes. They're soloing Dragon. They know that it's going down. Again, I feel like V5 recognize. I hope they recognize that they just have to give this one up. Zoom even tanks away the Super Mega Death Rocket. That's going to be soul point for both these teams. This is such a close game. However, I will say the gold lead now very much in top esports' favor. They've got themselves a 5,000 gold lead.
That's the thing. The gold just becomes less and less relevant as we get late in the game. Photic full build, right? The Jinx, every item needed is the massive threat. You've still got decent items from Rookie. It's really like Caster is going to be lacking gold a fair bit, but it's not really that important at this point. 3 Dragons apiece. We have Baron in 3 minutes, Dragon in 4 minutes 30. I feel like the Dragon buff is just absolutely massive. We talked endlessly about this Chemtech buff and how broken it is and how strong it is and how much we hate it. But like it makes things exciting when both teams have 3 apiece. Really comes down on the wire. So whoever secures it is just going to get that massive advantage. Unless you've already lost the fight, right? It's just going to pretty much secure from then on. It becomes so difficult. It's like, let's say you kill Jackie Love. He just comes back and fights you again. And then he also has GA. You have to kill him 3 times. It's pretty ridiculous, I'll be honest. And V5 with the Baron down.